12 years ago, I was 30 pounds heavier. I had no passport. I was in a career that I hated. I was living in a tiny apartment in the Bronx, and I was stuck in a victim mindset. And now that I have overcome a lot of these things, I struggle to see them as accomplishments. Hi, I'm Jessica, and welcome back to my channel. In this series, I'm documenting my 2025 rebrand, and I stumbled across something that I really wanted to share with you all. Something that I think is super important, but many of us may overlook, and that is going back to take inventory and show gratitude to the past, to all the things that we have overcome thus far. Because when you want to change your life, I think it takes a lot of confidence. It takes guts, it takes bravery. And one way to gain confidence is to kind of take stock of all the ways that you have showed up for yourself in the past. And so that's what I have been doing a little bit lately, because I just, it's challenging to start something new, especially in your late 30s when you feel like you're running out of time. And so there's moments when I feel pretty defeated. Like, is this going to happen for me? Will I be successful? Will I live the life that I want to live? Or will I fail, basically, and just be mediocre? But then I started thinking about all the ways I have already proved to myself that I am capable of doing more, and how resilient I am. And that starts to build some confidence within you. So I'd like to go over a few ways that I have already up-leveled my life, and changes that I already maintain and I'm super proud of, even though I don't give myself enough credit. And these things have just become such a part of my life and who I am that they don't seem like accomplishments at all. But again, I think it's really important to look back, because it just helps build confidence and gives you strength to move forward to that next chapter. So I lost 30 pounds. Not only did I lose 30 pounds, but I've maintained the weight loss for over a decade now, I want to say. Yeah, for sure, over a decade. And it's hard for me to see this as an accomplishment, because I still have so many fitness goals, and I still honestly don't look the way I want to look. So oftentimes I totally forget, like, wow, I look a lot different than the way I used to. And I maintain a relatively healthy lifestyle without thinking about it at all. It's just the way that I live my life. And because of it, I just have more confidence, because I don't care what anyone says. When you look good, you feel good, and you just carry yourself and walk through life differently. And yeah, like, that is something that I am super proud of. I will continue to grow and build on my fitness and wellness journey, but I am happy, where I'm happy with the progress that I've made so far, even though I do need to up the ante. But another thing is, I really want to move out of this country, out of the US, And honestly, say what you want about America. I'm someone who I'm personally proud to live here. I'm sure there are many other countries that are better than this one, but there are also many that are worse. And I am grateful to live in this country, but I also want to explore other parts of the world, and not in a vacation sense. You can't, to me anyway, you can't really know what a country or city or even a town is all about when you're just there for like a week or two. I think you just really uncover different parts of you when you live outside of your comfort zone. And I just want to see what other parts of the world has to offer. And because of that, I'm so eager and so anxious for this part of my life to start. I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to leave the country and what that entails. I don't even know where I want to leave. All I know is that I want a different experience. I want to learn new things, and I can't wait for that chapter. But I keep forgetting that I didn't even get a passport until I was 28 years old. And I didn't leave the country until I was 30 years old. And that's very recently because I'm turning 37 in April. So in the grand scheme of things, I I haven't had a passport for very long. And in that short period of time, I lived in Peru for 3 months in the Amazon rainforest. And that was a hard experience for many different reasons, but it was also a really, really good one. I proved so much to myself by being in another country alone where no one spoke English, and I was deep in Peru. Like, a lot of people there have never even seen black people before. I felt like a celebrity. People were taking pictures with me and wanting to talk to me, and the cat calling out there was immaculate because they were like, oh, la reina, which means the queen. And I was like, okay, thank you. So it was just an amazing experience because I only had myself to rely on. And yeah, things like that just create resilience. Currently, I live in a very small apartment in Brooklyn. It's a 2 bedroom, but it's only 600 square feet. And the management sucks, to be honest. And I think the building is poorly made. And I hate my layout. It's just, there's so many things. But at the same time, I'm so grateful to live here because I live 20 minutes away from the city. I live by 3 different subway stops. There there's like a gym and a laundry room and rooftop access, even though they're all okay. But it's just much more than I've ever had, to be honest. I grew up in the Bronx and I love being from the Bronx, but my quality of life is definitely better here in Brooklyn. And I always thought that I would live in the Bronx until I was ready to leave New York or ready to leave America. I just thought that that's as long as I was in New York, I would be in the Bronx. And I'm so happy that my husband and I we found an apartment in Brooklyn, and so we just we took it even though it's more expensive and it's far away from not far away from everyone in our life. We are definitely much happier here than we were in the past, even though we are ready to move on. Um, it's for sure an accomplishment that we tend to forget about. So career. Obviously, I'm still working on that one because I have no job and I'm here trying to make it on YouTube. Um, but I I was a pastry chef for 10 years. I went to culinary school in Soho, and I thought that's what I wanted to do with my life. I thought I was going to make lots of money making elaborate wedding cakes. And then I realized I hated making cakes. And I worked in restaurants for a while because I much rather do plated desserts. But I just, ugh, the late nights, the weekends, the long hours away from my family, and not to do anything important either, just to make dessert and to be stressed out. Like anyone who works in the restaurant industry, like you already know the everyone acts like it's life or death. And I get that it's someone's art and it's someone's livelihood. So it is very important. And there's a customer on the other side that you want to have a good experience because they paid money. They paid a lot of money. These fine dining restaurants are expensive. So I understand that, but it was just too much to push sugar at, like what I was doing at the end of the day was not important to spend the amount of time that I spent away from my family. That's how I gained a lot of weight, just like always eating and drinking and being out late. And then as I grew older, like I entered the industry in my early 20s and I left when I was about 30 or 31, somewhere around there. I was a different person. My values and interests were not the same as when I entered the industry. I was getting more into health and wellness because I didn't like the way that I looked. I wanted to fix it. And yeah, that led into me being interested in different things. And now I'm interested in the wellness industry still because I want to look a certain way, but also longevity. Like when I learned that genetics and DNA don't determine everything about disease and longevity, that really piqued my interest that your lifestyle is what really determines how long you live, your quality of life, how you age. That is really, really interesting to me. Like, I love that I'm not just at the will of my genetics. And so then my everyday job was not reflecting my values and my interests. So I decided to leave. And now for me, that's not hard. I'm someone that I'll leave a job or a career like that. We just spend way too much time there. I physically can't handle being at a job that I hate for too long. So it's not the hardest thing for me to do, and I think maybe that's why I don't see it as something. Um, I don't see it as me being brave or heroic. It's kind of a part of me. I know that I will find something else, that there is something else out there that I can do. And I'm still looking for that. It's definitely in the health, wellness, and spirituality space. Um, and self improvement. Like, those are the things that I'm really, really interested in, and travel and animals. But um, yeah, I'm sure all the pieces will come together. So the career piece, I don't have figured out yet. Honestly, there's nothing I have figured out. And I'm sure, I don't know if anyone has anything figured out. We keep going. Life is a journey. That sounds so corny, but yeah. And my biggest accomplishment is one that cannot be seen by anyone else, one that cannot be measured, and one that, unless you really, really know me, you probably wouldn't know that I possess. And that is a change in mindset. I had such a victim mentality. I just thought everything was happening to me. I had bad luck. Nothing ever works out for me. I was such a victim. And now, truly, I feel like I like to say, I don't I don't always get what I want, but I always get what I need. And I may not see it in the moment, but then I see it later on down the line. Or maybe I'll never see it, but I just have to trust and believe that an unfortunate event was actually in my benefit. And to be honest, usually if something was wrong in my life, it was because of me. It wasn't some outside force conspiring against me. I just, now I take ownership of myself, my life, my actions, even when it is something that is happening to me that's not my fault. Okay, it may not be my fault, but it's my responsibility to handle and to make my situation better, whatever it is. And I think that more than anything is what I'm most proud of, is changing my mindset. We've got a long way to go with the mindset, but I'm just really happy about it, and it just makes for an easier life. It really, really does, because now whatever is thrown at me, like, I know I can handle it. I'll be fine. As long as my loved ones are okay, as long as, like, okay within, like, health wise, as long as I'm okay, as long as my cats are okay, like, we're all good. We will live to fight another day, and there will always be a challenge, a problem, an issue. There just will be. So there's no point of avoiding them. You just have to tackle them head on. And I feel like now I have the mindset to do so. No one or nothing is attacking me personally. It's just life. And I'm responsible for my life, no matter what's going on. And it doesn't feel good to be a victim. And honestly, even if you actually are victimized, even then, like, after a certain point in time, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna get out of it? How are you gonna make your life better? Okay, so I really want you to take something tangible away from this video. So I'll give you a little assignment. I want you to look back at things you have been through in your past that you have overcome, and actually write them down, either with pen and paper, in your notes app, or even just voice record them. I love doing that sometimes and listening back to things later on. And just list all the things that you have overcome, at least 3 to 5. And I think you'll start to see how strong and resilient you are. And in turn, that will give you the strength and the confidence to battle this next phase in your life. Because when you're trying to uplevel or rebrand or whatever, it's not going to always be comfortable. It's going to take a new level of you to step up to the plate. And looking back on how you have already done that in the past with other situations will help you do that moving forward. So think of at least 3 things, 3 to 5, write them down, journal on how it felt when you were going through it versus how it feels now on the other side. And not only will it create confidence and resilience, but also it'll help you express gratitude for where you are currently, because we always want to get to the next thing, the next level, and we don't realize that we are living some of our dreams right now. There are things that we hope and wish and prayed for 5, 10, 15 years ago that we're living in right now, but it just feels so normal to us now that we forget to be grateful for it and live in the present moment because we're so ready for the next thing. So let me know in the comments, what are some things that you're grateful for? Where are some places that you can't believe you have made it to? What are some struggles you had in the past that maybe you completely forgot about? And you're like, wow, I cannot believe I accomplished that. I cannot believe I went through that. And I live to tell the story. Okay. See you in the next one.